Hello, this is Todd at Dynamic Automotive, Libertytown. I'm the lead technician here, and today we will be doing a fall maintenance special. It's an inspection package on this 1994 Toyota, and it has approximately 100,000 miles on it currently. And we're going to do this inspection to check a lot of the vital fluids, especially the ones that are more pertinent to the winter time, such as the antifreeze. That's one thing that we're definitely going to concentrate on. We're also going to check the battery for its integrity before we go into the cold winter months. We're also going to perform an oil and filter change. We're going to check the tire pressures. We're going to check the tread depth to make sure the tires are ready to go into winter time. And we're also going to check the belts, the hoses, the air filter, and just make sure the vehicle's ready before the winter time hits. And the customer that owns this vehicle likes to have this performed once a year. That way we make sure everything's in good shape. Being it's a 94, the truck is over 20 years old, and that comes from taking care of it. A lot of these fluids, if not taken care of, will leave you stranded or broke down with very costly and expensive repairs. This customer likes to do this to make sure the truck will last, hopefully, another 20 years. Okay, the first test we're going to perform today, we're going to check the integrity of the battery. The customer is telling me that the battery is quite a few years old. It is a 600 cold cranking amp battery, and we're going to use the Midtronics tester to test the battery's integrity. And it's a pretty straightforward test. Now it says that there's a surface charge detected, so we're going to turn the headlights on. And then it's going to sense that the headlights are on. And then it says turn headlights off. And then it senses that. And then it's going to go ahead and test the battery, which this battery is testing bad. It's got 345 cold cranking amps out of available 600. So the battery has failed. This battery will leave you stranded this winter. Next thing we're going to do is check the starter and the alternator. So we're going to go ahead and start the vehicle up. And it says that the cranking result is normal. And now we're going to check the alternator. And the charging voltage is at 14.07 volts. So everything's good there. We simply need to replace the battery, and I'm going to go ahead and print this out from my customer's records. Okay, the next thing we're going to check on this 94 Toyota pickup is the antifreeze condition, to see what the freeze point is of this antifreeze. Here in Maryland, we want to see at minimum 20 to 30 degrees below zero. Not that it should ever happen here, but we just want definitely a decent margin for error. So we're going to remove the radiator cap of this cooled engine. And then we're going to take a sample. And we're going to see what the freeze point is of this antifreeze. Which this antifreeze is rated at 50 degrees below freezing. So no problems there. It's got a nice color to it. So we're set. No further service required on the cooling system at this time. Okay, next thing we're going to be checking on this truck is the air filter. Just seeing how it looks before we go into the cold months. So this one's a fairly simple one. It just simply unclips. You slide this over and lift it up. And here's our air filter. And it actually looks pretty decent. So we're not going to recommend replacing this filter going into wintertime on this truck. And next we're going to check the brake fluid moisture level. We're going to take the cap off. I'm going to use my tester. And our brake fluid has less than 1% moisture. So with the brake fluid moisture only being 1%, we're not going to recommend any further service at this time. Brake fluid is actually hygroscopic, meaning it attracts moisture into the fluid. The moisture attacks all the metal components within the system. Your brake lines, your calipers, your wheel cylinders, and all the little components within the ABS system. So when you do have an excess amount of moisture in the fluid, it will start creating problems. That's why we want to take care of this before it becomes a problem. So after performing the battery and electrical system inspection, the battery did test bad. I talked to my customer on the phone. He does want to go ahead and replace this battery, does not want to have any breakdowns this winter. I checked my inventory. I do stock the battery proper for this vehicle. It's an Interstate battery, MT24, and we're going to go ahead and replace this battery today, and that'll take care of the electrical system for the truck for many years, hopefully. So this Interstate battery comes with a 5-year warranty, which part of that is prorated. The first 18 months is a free replacement. After 18 months is prorated. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and change the oil and filter on this truck, getting it ready for the winter time. So I'm going to position the drain pan underneath. We're going to go ahead and loosen the filter up and let it drain down here in the pan. Right there. And we're going to drain the oil out after this, and we're going to refill with synthetic oil. Synthetic oils definitely last a lot longer. They're much better for the engine in the long term. The molecules within the oil are more, I guess, engineered perfectly. So all the little molecules are perfectly round, as conventional oil is more like a pile of Legos. There's circles and squares and triangles. So the synthetic oil is definitely a better oil for long term. All right, so now with the vehicle up in the air, we have went underneath and we have checked a lot of the key points underneath. We've checked the transmission fluid, and the transmission fluid looks very good, so we're not going to recommend any further repairs there. We've checked the rear differential. Fluid looks very good there, so no service is required. We did do a visual inspection on the brake pads on the front of the vehicle and brake shoes on the rear of the vehicle, and both of those look very good. We've inspected the brake lines to make sure there's no rusting in the brake lines. They look very good. We've checked the tire tread and the condition, and those both look very good. Set the tire pressure to manufacturer specifications. We've also looked at the steering components, the suspension components. All of that tested good. So everything underneath is looking very good on this truck. So as long as it's properly maintained, we should see at least another 10 to 20 years out of it. If you'd like to have your vehicle inspected or serviced at Dynamic Automotive of Libertytown, Jose or myself, Todd, can be contacted at 301-694-6250. You can reach us at dynamicautomotive.net on the web, or you can stop in and see us. Our address is 11931 Main Street, Libertytown, Maryland, and our zip code here is 21762.